Hello dear student. In previous lecture, we discussed circular motion and kinematics of circular motion. In circular motion, we discussed that is definition of circular motion and characteristics of circular motion. In kinematics of circular motion, we discussed that is concept of radius vector, angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration. Also we discussed that is right hand thumb rule. In this video, we are going to discuss that is dynamics of circular motion and numericals based on kinematical equations. So let's move to the first point, that is dynamics of circular motion. In dynamics of circular motion, we first discuss that is relation between linear velocity, radius vector and angular velocity. So question can be asked in exam, that is state the relation between v, r and omega, where v is linear velocity, that is also called as tangential velocity, r is radius vector and omega is angular velocity. So why we consider that is relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? So as we know that particle revolving around the circumference of circle, that is nothing but what? Circular motion. So when we break that circular motion, so particle follows the tangential path in straight line. So there is relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So let's consider, so v is nothing but what? Linear velocity or tangential velocity. Why it is called as tangential? So let's consider particle is at initial position A. So we draw the tangent, so that gives a tangential velocity, that is also called as linear velocity of particle A, that is VA. After some time, that particle reaches the position of B. So tangent drawn to that of P, that is nothing but what? Tangential velocity of B. So next point is theta. Theta is called angular displacement. So when particle moves from A position to B position, so angle subtended by that of radius vector, that is angular displacement. R is radius vector and omega is angular velocity. So what should be the relation between VA and omega? That is V is equal to R omega. That derivation we already discussed in 11th standard. Here we only explain that is expression, that is V is equal to R omega. So in vector form, what should be the equation? So V bar is equal to omega bar cross of R bar. Here we consider that is cross product. Why? Because that answer, that is linear velocity, is vector quantity. So product of two vector quantities is a vector quantity. Hence we are considering the cross product, or that is vector product. So relation V is equal to R omega. Have you clear? So this equation is used in solving the problem. So next move, that is further point, that is acceleration in circular motion. In this we discuss that is acceleration associated with circular motion. So linear acceleration is divided in two main basic concepts, that is centripetal acceleration and tangential acceleration. So centripetal acceleration is also called as radial acceleration. So let's move the first point, centripetal acceleration. So why we are considering that centripetal acceleration or acceleration associated with circular motion? So let's see the figure. So here we are considering that blue arrow, which is nothing but what? Radius vector, and pink arrow, that is nothing but what? It's a tangential velocity. So both having directions, and that direction changes with respect to position of particle along the circumference of circle. Hence, it is an accelerated motion. So we are considering the two main types, that is centripetal acceleration, which is along the radius, and tangential acceleration, which is along the tangent. So what is centripetal acceleration? So the acceleration of particle is along the radius and directed towards the center is called as centripetal acceleration. So what is centripetal acceleration? The acceleration of particle along the radius and directed towards the center is called centripetal acceleration. It is given by the formula, that is AC is equal to R omega square or V square upon R or V omega, where R is radius vector, omega is angular velocity, and V is linear velocity or tangential velocity. As we seen that blue arrow indicates a centripetal acceleration, which is along the radius and directed towards the center. So that's why it is called as centripetal acceleration, and it is directed along the radius. That's why it is also called as radial acceleration. So notation for that, AC or AR. So have you gotten this? So in vector form, so this expression can be written down in terms of AC bar is equal to omega square into R bar or V omega bar cross of V bar. So centripetal acceleration means what? So acceleration of particle along the radius and directed towards the center is called as centripetal acceleration. Is that clear? Have you got this concept? So let's move to the next concept, that is tangential acceleration. So what is tangential acceleration? So let's see the figure. So name itself indicates its definition. Tangential means what's a tangent? So tangent to that of position of particle. So what is definition of tangential acceleration? The acceleration of particle is along the tangent of circular path is called as tangential acceleration. So what is a tangential acceleration? The acceleration of particle along the tangent of circular path is called as tangential acceleration. So its expression is, that is AT bar is equal to alpha bar cross of R bar, where AT is nothing but what? Tangential acceleration, that is notation for tangential acceleration, and alpha is angular acceleration and R is radius vector. So total linear acceleration is given by, that is centripetal acceleration plus tangential acceleration. We discussed that both type, centripetal as well as tangential. So both are associated with circular motion. So we are adding these two for calculating total linear acceleration. So total linear acceleration is centripetal acceleration, which is necessary for circular motion, and tangential acceleration, which is acting along the tangent. Tangential acceleration also gives the relation between alpha and linear acceleration. So what is tangential acceleration? That acceleration of particle along the tangent. So that is acting along the tangential velocity. So that's why it is called as tangential acceleration. Have you got this concept? So in this we complete that centripetal acceleration and tangential acceleration. And tangential acceleration, which is acting along tangent, and centripetal acceleration, which is acting along that radius and towards the center. Right? Have you got this concept? So let's move to the next point, that is uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. So in this we discuss, that is uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. So question can be asked in exam, that is differentiate between uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. Or question can be asked, define UCM and state its example. So first we discuss the difference that is for uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. So first point is nothing but it's a definition. So what is uniform circular motion? So circular motion with constant angular speed is known as uniform circular motion. And what is non-uniform circular motion? Circular motion with variable angular speed is called as non-uniform circular motion. So from figure we observe that blue object which having constant angular speed, so that's why it is called as uniform circular motion. And the red object is variable angular speed, that speed changes, so that's why it is called as non-uniform circular motion. So from this figure we already discussed that definition, that circular motion with constant angular speed or same angular speed is known as uniform circular motion, and circular motion with variable angular speed is known as non-uniform circular motion. So second point is related to that of tangential acceleration. So in uniform circular motion, tangential acceleration and angular acceleration is zero. So why angular acceleration is zero? Because angular speed is constant. So there is no change in angular speed with respect to time. So by the definition, the rate of change of angular speed tends to zero. Hence, angular acceleration is zero. And we know that relation between tangential acceleration and angular acceleration is at is equal to alpha bar cross of r bar. As the alpha tends to 0, therefore tangential acceleration is also 0. Therefore, in uniform circular motion, tangential acceleration and angular acceleration is 0. Opposite to that of non-uniform circular motion, that angular acceleration is non-zero, therefore also tangential acceleration is non-zero, because that we having variable angular speed. So we get that rate of change of angular speed with respect to time. So we get that angular acceleration as a non-zero value, and also we get tangential acceleration as non-zero value. So main 3 points in difference. First is definition, that is for uniform circular motion with constant angular speed, here variable angular speed. Second point, tangential acceleration, that is 0, here non-zero. And angular acceleration is 0 for UCM and non-zero for non-UCM. So what are these examples of uniform circular motion? So motion of earth around the sun, motion of tip of hand in a clock, or motion of electron around the nucleus. These are the different examples of uniform circular motion. Then what are the examples of non-uniform circular motion? That is motion of body in vertical circle. When that motion of body in vertical circle, that velocity at every position changes. So here from that figure we observe that Bob is performing vertical circular motion. So here at different positions that velocity is different. So that is vertical circular motions are non-uniform circular motion. Have you got this concept or definitions of UCM and non-UCM? So UCM means what? Constant angular speed, and non-UCM means what? That is variable angular speed. Okay, so let's move to the next point for in dynamics of circular motion, that is for centripetal force and centrifugal force. So what is centripetal force? Let's see the figure. So centripetal force is associated with centripetal acceleration that we already discussed. So centripetal acceleration is acting along the radius and towards the center. So similarly, centripetal force is also acting along the radius and towards the center. So from figure, mass m performing a circular motion. So centripetal acceleration acting along the radius and associated force is also acted along the radius and towards the center. So such force which exhibit that centripetal acceleration, that is called as centripetal force. So let's see the definition. A force acting on particle performing circular motion along the radius of circle and directed toward the center of circle is called centripetal force. So centripetal force is nothing but what? That force acting along the radius of circle and directed towards the center is called as centripetal force. So what should be the expression? So as we know that Newton's second law, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So mass is nothing but m and acceleration associated with it, that is centripetal acceleration. So force is equal to m into centripetal acceleration. As we know that centripetal acceleration is nothing but what? R omega square or v square upon r or v omega. So centripetal force equation is nothing but mass into centripetal acceleration, which will be equal to m r omega square or mv square upon r or mv omega. So this is expression for that of centripetal force. So this will be used in numerical. So its SI unit is Newton and it is a vector quantity. Have you got the concept of centripetal force? Centripetal means what? Acting along the radius towards the center. So it comes with force, so it is centripetal force, and when it is acceleration, so it is centripetal acceleration. So centripetal force means what? Force acting along the radius and towards the center is called as centripetal force. Have you got the concept? Okay, so let's move to the next point, that is centrifugal force. So let's see centrifugal force. So what is meant by centrifugal force? Let's see the image. Centrifuge means what? Away from the center. So what is definition for centrifugal force? So force acting on particle is along the radius and away from the center is called as centrifugal force. So what is definition for centrifugal force? So force acting on particle performing circular motion along the radius of circle and directed away from the center of circle is called as centrifugal force. So force along the radius and away from the center is called as centrifugal force. Its magnitude is equal to centripetal force but opposite in direction. We already discussed the centripetal force, which is directed along the radius and towards the center, but centrifugal force along the radius and away from the center. So both having, that is centripetal force and centrifugal force, having opposite direction. So its magnitude is same. So what should be its magnitude? So centrifugal force is similar to that of centripetal force magnitude. So mass into centripetal acceleration, which is nothing but what? mr omega square, mv square upon r or mv omega. Have you cleared the concept of centrifugal force? Okay, so let's move to the further point. So let's see the kinematical equations for linear motion and angular motion. We discussed that point comparative type. So we compare that linear motion equations with respect to angular motion equations. So in linear motion, we discuss the terminology that V represent final velocity, U represent initial linear velocity, A represent linear acceleration, and S represent linear displacement, and T represent its time. And in angular motion, omega f represent final angular velocity, omega if initial angular velocity, alpha acceleration, that is angular acceleration, t is nothing but what, time, and theta is angular displacement. So let's see the first equation. In linear motion, that is v is equal to u plus at, that is final linear velocity is equal to initial linear velocity plus linear acceleration into time. Similarly, in rotational motion, final angular velocity is equal to initial angular velocity plus angular acceleration into time. Have you cleared that equation or concept of first equation? That is v is equal to u plus at in linear motion and omega f is equal to omega I plus alpha t in angular or rotational motion. So let's see the second equation, that is s is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square, where s is displacement, that is linear displacement, u is linear initial velocity, t is time, plus 1/2 into acceleration, linear acceleration into time square. In angular motion, that is angular displacement is equal to initial angular velocity into time plus 1/2 angular acceleration into time square. Okay, so let's see the third equation, that v square is equal to u square plus 2as, that is final linear velocity square is equal to initial linear velocity square plus 2 times of linear acceleration into linear displacement. Here in angular motion, final angular velocity square is equal to initial angular velocity square plus 2 times of angular acceleration into angular displacement. Here linear final velocity, here angular final velocity, here initial linear velocity, here initial angular velocity, and 2a is nothing but linear acceleration, linear displacement. Here 2 alpha theta means what? Angular acceleration and angular displacement. Have you cleared the kinematical equation concepts in linear motion as well as rotation motion? Okay, these three equations we use in solving the numericals. Okay, so let's solve that first numerical. So let's solve the numerical. A fan is rotating at 90 rpm. It is then switch off. It stops after 21 revolutions. Calculate the time taken by it to stop, assuming that the frictional torque is constant. So we are given that a fan is rotating at 90 rpm, then it switch off, and after 21 revolution that fan completely stop. So we have to calculate the time for the stopping the fan. So let's start with given data. So first is, that is fan rotating at 90 rpm. So which value is given? That is number of revolution, initial number of revolution, that is 90 rpm. rpm means what? Revolutions per minute. So this value in minutes we have to convert it in seconds. So 90 divided by 60, that is 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So 90 divided by 60, that answer is 1.5 rps. So from this data, we calculate that initial angular speed, that is omega I. So initial angular speed formula, its omega is equal to 2 pi n. N value is 1.5. So 2 pi into 1.5, answer is 3 pi radian per second. Angular velocity unit is radian per second. So initial angular velocity, that is initial angular speed of that fan is 3 pi radian per second. Then it is said that it is then switch off. It stop means what? That final angular velocity of fan stop means what? It's 0. So final angular velocity is 0. It stops after 21 revolution. So we have to calculate that angle subscribed or subtained in 21 revolutions. So in one revolution, angle subtended is 2 pi, right? So for 21 revolution, so multiply by 21. So 21 into 2 pi, which will be equal to 42 pi radian. So angle subtended by a fan in 21 revolution is 42 pi. Right? So given data completed, so we have to calculate time. So which formula we have to use? So we use the kinematical equation. So we use the two kinematical equation. That first is final angular velocity square is equal to initial angular velocity square plus 2 alpha into theta, and second one is final angular velocity is equal to initial angular velocity plus angular acceleration into time. So here we can get the time in equation number 2, and from equation number 1 we calculate the value of alpha. So from equation number 1 we put the values from the given data, that is final angular velocity is 0, that is square, then initial angular velocity is, that is 3 pi square, 2 as it is, alpha value we have to calculate, and theta value, that is 42 pi, right? Okay, so 0 is equal to 3 pi square plus 2 alpha into 42 pi. So rearrange that formula for alpha. So alpha is equal to minus 3 pi square divided by 84 pi. So that 3 pi square left side, that is minus, and 84 tends to denominator. So minus 3 pi square divided by 84 pi. Right? So from equation number 2, so put the values from given data in equation number 2, we get, that is final angular velocity, which is nothing but what, 0, initial angular velocity is 3 pi, alpha as unknown, t as unknown. So rearrange that formula again for alpha. So alpha is equal to 0 minus 3 pi divided by t. So as we seen that equation A and equation B, that both equation, that left hand side is equal, hence right hand side must be equal. So we can write down that from equation A and equation B, alpha is equal to 0 minus 3 pi divided by t is equal to minus 3 pi square divided by 84 pi. So now rearrange that formula for t. So t is equal to minus 3 pi into 84 pi divided by minus 3 pi square, right? So 3 pi square value get cancelled. Only remaining term is 84 divided by 3. That 1 3 from, that is 3 square. Pi square value get cancelled. So remaining terms 84 divided by 3, and answer is 28 seconds. So time required to stop the fan is 28 seconds. Have you clear? Have you got the problem? Have you understand that problem? Okay. In this video, we discuss that dynamics of circular motion and numerical on kinematical equations. So meanwhile, you have to prepare your notes and solve the numericals from your textbook. You can ask your queries in comment section. In further lecture or further video, we cover, that is, applications of uniform circular motion and problems based on uniform circular motion. Thank you.